Are you tired of meal services that deliver directly to your door, but then cost you another hour to get the meal to the table or to prepare? You guys, my favorite new service is called Factor. Factor prepares and delivers fresh, never frozen, nutritious meals to your door. Their team of executive chefs and dietitians combine nutrition science to serve you whether you're following a keto intake or you're working on those macros. You guys, they've got it. If you are a working mom or you're just looking for shortcuts for dinner, I want you to try out Factor. You can go to runliftmompod.com/factor to check this out. I've also got a coupon for you. When you go to runliftmompod.com/factor, you can enter in Factor 2020 to save $25 off your first week of orders. Welcome to the Run Lift Mom podcast, where we're talking about running, lifting, and momming, not necessarily in that order. Today, I have got a special treat for you. We're going to mix up all three. We're talking modeling healthy behavior in community with fitness professional Wendy Kleinke. Wendy has over 16 years of experience in the health and fitness industry. And you guys, she has a fascinating business model that allows people who come into fitness individually to leave with community and with friends with similar interests. I love talking to her about how she modeled healthy behaviors for her kids, as well as how she does it within her client groups. Without further ado, Wendy Kleinke. All right, welcome to the Run Lift Mom podcast. Wendy Kleinke, I'm so excited to have you.
Susie, thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to talk to you today about just exercising and in general and what that looks like for bringing in other people and working out with other people as well. I'm really excited to talk to you. It sounds like you've got your hands full with your little ones.
I'm in a different season than you are, but before we hit that record button, we talked about a little bit how it's really cool sometimes to have family members, like little family members, be your workout partner.
Absolutely. Children can be so motivating regardless of what age they're at, especially when they're little. I find that they are really excited to be out and moving around, and they have a lot of energy, and they can actually really be very encouraging to get out there and do something. I love seeing moms running while their children are biking. That's one of my most favorite things to see. The community aspect of working out with other people, working out with your children, it's very motivating, and it's a wonderful way to display to your children the importance of movement and the importance of healthy living. Exercising with your children is in my opinion, one of the best things that you can do for them.
It's really cool. And you come to this conversation not only as a mom of two, now teenagers, but also as a fitness professional who has served over a decade, almost two, in the health and fitness space. So do you see this with your clients as well, that when they can involve family members or loved ones, maybe it's a neighbor they love or a friend that they like to spend time with? Talk to me about the community aspect.
So what I find really kind of interesting is after a lot of times I work with clients one-on-one in the beginning, and then I like to bring them into a small group as their skills get better because it helps with the accountability. But what I find is that some of my clients actually really enjoy bringing their spouses. And I've had a lot of success with my clients bringing their spouses to the small group training. And it's been a very interesting element, but the men that come in that, I've been working with their wives, they come in, they're so surprised by how hard their wife has been working. So it's really interesting, and it's a fun dynamic to watch when you're seeing loved ones who are working out together, because they just have a totally different kind of interchange, and the competitiveness is it's a little bit there. Like, not everybody's competitive, but I often see it between spouses, just a little bit.
Listeners of this show know that I spent some time coaching at a gym. Now, I'm not quite at the level that you are, Wendy, but I can tell you I saw the exact same thing, the dynamic. And then there's almost this air of like respect or even like spark, like lighting a spark that wasn't there previously. Like, wow, she is really like hustling hard. It brings a whole new dynamic in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I find in my own experience that my youngest daughter is my favorite workout partner. Her and I love to work out together in the same ways. And my oldest daughter prefers more cardio intensive exercise, where my youngest and I prefer more like weightlifting. And it's interesting to me just to work out with her because we kind of motivate each other, where she's like, well, if mom can do that, I can do that. And I'm like, she can do that, I can do that.
I love it. Talk to me a little bit about, it's interesting that to me that you first work with individuals and then you bring them into that group setting, regardless of whether their spouse is there. Can you tell me a little bit about why you do that?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest reasons that I bring them into a setting where there's other people is because of shared goals. So I find that people will adhere to exercise, and they're more likely to enjoy it. Like, honestly, they have a lot of fun making fun of me, but they have this sense of shared, they have this sense of shared experience that really helps them get through it. I watch them work a lot harder. I watch them encourage each other. I watch them call each other out when they don't show up. Like, hey, where have you been all week? So it takes a little bit of pressure off of my job as far as accountability and keeping people accountable for showing up. But at the same time, it provides a different atmosphere than it does with just one-on-one. So the level of fun is a little bit more. They seem to enjoy it a little bit more. They work a little bit harder and they show up more. I mean, I don't want to say that they show up more often, but they show up with a better attitude, if that makes any sense.
I think it's fascinating. I mean, it sounds like it really helps with the consistency, and just helps with the overall experience. And we know that if we enjoy something, then we're more likely to do it consistently.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a little bit, the small group training I find is a little bit different than like a group exercise class. A group exercise class can actually be pretty intimidating for some people. And it can also leave people who are not going to work as hard because the instructor is not necessarily watching them. Right. So not that group exercise instructors don't watch that's not what I mean, but they may not have the same kind of attention that they would get in a small group setting. So the exercise is not going to be as, it's just a different element when you've got 20 people versus 4.
Yeah, absolutely. So if somebody's listening and maybe they don't have a workout partner or a group, what recommendations, like where do you tell folks maybe that don't have access to a Wendy to go when they're looking for that community component?
So one thing that I would suggest, depending on where you're working out at, so if you're working out at a facility, I would absolutely recommend that you talk to some of the staff and just ask them, as fitness professionals, we are more than happy to help you adhere in any way that you need. So I know, I don't mean to speak for the masses here, but I do know that if you're in this industry, it's because you care. Right. And not everybody can afford to work with a trainer one-on-one. Not everyone can, afford to get into small group training or go to group classes, or they may have other things that are getting in the way, such as gym shyness, which is a very big thing. And having somebody with you can really help you to show up and to not feel so afraid and to get out there and start doing it.
Yeah, as a point of clarification before we wrap up here, Wendy, do you mind explaining what gym shyness is?
Sure. So gym shyness happens with people who are intimidated by the equipment and the other people in the environment. So I see it a lot with women. I see it with men as well. So what happens is they come into the gym and they don't want anybody to see them working out. And they don't necessarily realize that nobody's looking at them. They're looking in the mirror most of the time anyways.
Right.
But it can be very intimidating.
It's a very real barrier, though.
We tend to compare ourselves to other people. So when you're looking around and you're not feeling very secure in your own self, it's very easy to get intimidated by equipment that you don't know how to use, people that you don't know that might look like how you want to look, or people that may just be watching you. Like you may be shy that people are going to be watching you, that you might not be doing something correctly, or just basically just worried about what other people are thinking of you.
Right. Oh, it's a fascinating topic to explore, and I'm glad that you're addressing it outright. Listener, if you have experienced gym shyness, know that can be a barrier to your success, and hear Wendy loud and clear when she says, nobody's looking at you. They all want you to succeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Modeling healthy behavior in community is so important, and Wendy, I want to thank you for coming on and talking about exactly that, as well as things like gym shyness that maybe we didn't know were a thing. They're a barrier, and if we can address it and overcome it, that will help us succeed in our own fitness. Thank you again, Wendy, and listener, you can swipe up or click details to go deep with this wonderful fitness professional. Until I get into your earpiece again, remember, for while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come. That's from 1 Timothy 4:8, and this has been the Run Lift Mom podcast. My legs are tired. Bring me coffee. You guys, this is just one of the many shirts that I love from Sarah Marie Design Studio. They have running-inspired gear, gifts, coffee mug, jewelry, you name it, they've got it. It's awesome. And if you use Run Lift Mom at checkout, you will save 10%. Go to sarahmariedesignstudio.com and enter in Run Lift Mom at checkout for 10% off. Thank you for listening to Run Lift Mom. I am so excited to offer a special discount to listeners of this show, and you're not going to find it anywhere else, so commit it to memory. Use the discount code RLM at checkout on my Alouette site to receive 15% off your order. You're going to go to alouette.com/runliftmom, and you can find that linked in the show notes. But remember, because this isn't in the show notes, the code RLM is only for people hearing my voice right now. You're going to save 15% off your order using RLM. And yes, this can be stacked with other gift with purchase or BOGO discounts. This episode is brought to you by Alouette. I am so excited to offer a free restorative enzyme peel sample. If you want this, you'll just go to peelsample.com. You guys, this is the one that you put on dry skin. You rub it in a circular motion for about a minute, and you heard you're going to see dead skin, like visibly right there, tangible results after a minute. You can use this on your face. You can use it on your calloused hands from that barbell, and you can use it on your running feet. So whether you've been running, lifting, or momming, this is an awesome product. Again, I want you to go to Peel, P-E-E-L sample.com and request your free sample.